Episode 424. After a few more attacks, Tang Ru still couldn't land a hit on Du Ming. Soon, Du Ming seized an opening and wrested back the initiative. After a series of minor skills and basic attacks to maneuver her, the inexperienced Tang Ru was lured right into the trap. Du Ming unleashed his Blade Master's level 70 ultimate skill, Phantom Shadowless Sword. Amid the relentless sound of steel striking flesh, Tang Ru's battle mage was engulfed in a flurry of crimson blossoms. On the electronic display, the game screen flashed with the combo count for that strike. The Phantom Formless Sword relies entirely on the player's skill to execute its full combo chain. The more hits you land, the greater the damage. The current record stands at 13 strikes. Many professional Blade Masters have reached that number, but no one has ever broken through to a 14th. To achieve this seemingly ultimate combo count, you have to factor in the distance and angle of every single strike. And from the first sword to the 13th, it all happened in just a few seconds. Du Ming's full Phantom Formless Sword combo ultimately landed 10 consecutive hits. However, due to Tang Ru's incredibly fast reaction speed, she managed to force a dodge even when it seemed impossible. This threw off Du Ming's final positioning and angle, preventing him from achieving the optimal setup. Under those circumstances, pulling off a 10-hit combo was already quite an impressive feat. The final strike of Phantom Shadowless Sword is a powerful knockback attack. This hit is crucial. If it misses, the 1-second stun during the recovery animation is more than enough for the opponent to recover all the damage they just took. A pro player like Du Ming would never botch such a crucial move. After unleashing that final slash, Tang Ru's battle mage was sent flying back. Tang Ru executed the quick recover without a hitch. The opponent's health was barely scratched, while his battle mage had already lost a fifth of its life. Tang Ru was no longer the same as before. She was acutely aware of the gap that still existed between her and a true professional player. That last big move, in particular, was like being toyed with in the palm of their hand. It was as if the opponent knew exactly what he would do, striking blow after blow, leading him into that situation, and then forcing him to helplessly take that devastating hit. To surpass your opponent, you must first understand where the gap lies. Tang Ru had always remembered what Yi Shu said. But now, the sheer gap she discovered between herself and these pro players left her utterly helpless. Experience. That was the biggest gap between them. Tang Ru's combat experience, which was practically non-existent, was no match for these pro players. They could easily read her intentions, disrupt her plans, and then effortlessly lead her right into a trap.
Yeah, definitely a rookie.
Just as Tang Ru was taking stock of her shortcomings, the professional players on the other side started talking again. Tang Ru was a rookie, and facing a pro like Du Ming finally laid that bare. If there had been any lingering doubts before, they were now completely dispelled. Yet this very certainty only made Tang Ru seem more valuable. Everyone was eager to see how this rookie would respond. Tang Ru moved. Even knowing the gap between them, when Du Ming charged, she still charged forward without a moment's hesitation. Tang Ru moved first this time. Her battle mage thrust out a dragon tooth, followed by a sky strike, a double stab, a circle swing, and a falling flower palm. It was still just that pitiful handful of low-level skills, interspersed with ordinary attacks, unleashed in a relentless chain. Du Ming dodged with ease, waiting for the perfect moment to strike back. And that moment had just arrived. Tang Ru's attack had missed by a full 2 body lengths, striking nothing but air. Du Ming seized the opening, drawing his sword. The sound of a hit rang out, but to his shock, it wasn't his opponent who had been struck, it was himself. The spear that had missed its mark had somehow reversed course, and now it stabbed into him instead. It was just a standard attack, not particularly damaging, but it had caught Du Ming completely off guard. Tang Ru's attacks kept coming, and Du Ming was starting to feel the pressure. He could clearly sense her attack speed was getting faster and faster.
She's raising her APM.
The pro players had naturally noticed, and they launched into another round of analysis. To their astonishment, they realized that Tang Ru's APM up until now hadn't been her limit. Her attack tempo was only getting faster.
She was still holding back.
Some people sighed in realization. No, this isn't holding back. Others, however, said with grave seriousness.
Her attacks are fast, but there's no technique to them.
Many of the experts watching closely had already noticed this, and those players who hadn't caught on yet, when they looked again, saw it immediately. Tang Ru's attacks seemed to have no real thought behind them. She just used whatever skill was available, and when nothing was, she'd throw out a basic attack. It was the purest newbie playstyle. No awareness, no judgment, just point your attacks wherever the opponent happened to be. This completely chaotic style of play shouldn't be effective at all, yet it was completely suppressing Du Ming. The reason for this, of course, was APM. In terms of pure APM, Tang Ru had already reached a professional level, but her operational precision was lacking. To guarantee accuracy, she had to slow her hands down, but at this moment, she cast aside all such concerns. She simply pushed herself to the absolute limit, unleashing every attack she could muster in the fastest way possible.
What's her APM at? There's no way to count that. So much of it is wasted effort.
The pro players were speechless. When they talked about APM, they meant effective operations, but Tang Ru completely ignored that. She was all about speed, her APM pushed to the absolute limit. Her attacks struck empty air time and again. Her movements overshot their mark over and over, and then she'd scramble to correct these mistakes, wasting countless actions in the frantic back and forth. Yet this very style of play left Du Ming unable to find an opening. Every opportunity he spotted vanished in the blink of an eye.
Wow, that's amazing.
Chen Guo was staring, utterly transfixed, while Ye Shu was just smiling.
Clever.
What is it?
She finally realized the gap between them, so she came up with a way to avoid it.
What's the plan?
Fighting by the book, her lack of experience means she can't seize the initiative, so she simply stopped overthinking it. Right now, she's just using every attack she can, throwing them at her opponent as fast as possible. Because of her exceptional APM, even this kind of rookie flailing looks pretty intimidating.
So, you're saying Little Tang can win?
I'm afraid he still can't.
Why not?
Because she'll get tired. How long can she keep up that kind of play?
Ye Shu wasn't the only one who saw this. Every pro player was watching the match intently, analyzing and discussing the situation. Tang Ru's burst of APM showed them the upper limit of her skill, but no one understood better than the pros just how difficult it was to maintain that speed. In the end, this kind of unrestrained APM spamming is a battle against your own fatigue. Du Ming was a pro player too. He understood this just as well. He was known as the Berserker, yet here he was, being suppressed in such a haphazard, messy way. It was deeply frustrating, but there was nothing he could do. He couldn't predict his opponent's intentions, because the guy was just flailing wildly. He couldn't even try to seize the initiative, because he had to admit, when it came to pure APM, he was actually losing to this amateur spectator.
This rookie's got some moves, I'll give him that. But how long can you keep up an attack like that?
Du Ming thought to himself, glancing at his character's HP.